Throughout many epic narratives in gaming, there has been a fine line between the polarities, happiness and sadness. Protagonists are often pitted against incredible odds and are destined to overcome and triumph. In the respect of the hero, there is also the entity known as the anti-hero, renegades that will use any means to attain the desired ends. These individuals sometimes have horrific pasts that mold the personalities and choices that resound in their cold future. Perhaps the most shining example of this is the advent of the ultimate life form, Shadow the Hedgehog. This is the tragedy of Shadow. Shadow was created to be the ultimate life form by the revered scientist Gerald Robotnik on the Space Colony Ark. Shadow was created with the initial purpose of finding a way to immortality in hopes of healing Gerald's terminal granddaughter, Maria. In his early life aboard the Ark, Shadow becomes close friends with Maria, bonding with her like a sister and a brother. This would soon turn to tragedy. Word of the ultimate life form soon reached the ears of the government planetside, and the guardian units of nations' military soon mobilized. Their mission? Put an end to the research and all those who were an obstacle on the Ark. Little did they know, Project Shadow was already complete. Though Shadow tried his best to get Maria to safety, it was in vain, as a GUN soldier fatally shot down Maria. In Maria's final act, she sent a horrified Shadow to the world below in an escape pod. This event triggered something dark and sinister, not only in the mind of Shadow, but as well as Gerald Robotnik. Both individuals loved Maria, and their psyche was thrown out of balance by her death. After Gerald recovered Shadow, he modified his mind so he can carry out a plan of vengeance. Fast forward 50 years. Shadow was released from stasis on a GUN base by none other than Gerald's grandson and Maria's cousin, Dr. Eggman. Shadow then strikes a deal with Eggman, promising him the power of the Eclipse Cannon if he can acquire all 7 Chaos Emeralds and bring them to the Ark. However, this was just a ploy by Shadow, as he was manipulating everyone caught in his scheme so that he could fulfill his creator's wish for revenge. Once all 7 Chaos Emeralds were gathered on the Ark, it initiated a program in which the Ark would plummet to Earth, and with the reactive and explosive energy that the Emeralds created, the planet would be decimated. Shadow thought he was fulfilling a promise to Maria. In reality, he was enacting vengeance that he would still be a part of. Thanks to the words of Amy Rose, Shadow realized that Maria's final wish was to keep the world safe. In a final rush, Shadow joins forces with Sonic the Hedgehog in order to put a stop to the Bio-Lizard, the prototype of Project Shadow and Gerald's failsafe. Once the final hazard is dealt with, Shadow's and Sonic's chaos control stops the falling Ark and places it back in its orbit. However, Shadow's power is diminished, and he tragically falls to his supposed death as he fulfills his promise to Maria. Sometime later, Shadow is discovered once again in stasis at one of Eggman's bases by an old ally, Rouge the Bat. Upon awakening, Shadow suffers from amnesia, unable to recall the events of the Ark or even Maria. After striking a partnership with Rouge and E123 Omega, a renegade Eggman robot, Shadow seeks out Eggman to learn about his past and his fate after plummeting to Earth. During their journey, the team comes across Shadow androids, which throws Shadow's identity into question. Though his smug and uncaring demeanor seems undeterred, Shadow was truly shaken with these events. After fighting for a cause and having his mind twisted and scarred, producing the calculating animal that he is, he finds himself a loss of himself. Sometime later, Shadow comes into contact with Black Doom, an evil alien seeking the 7 Chaos Emeralds to take over the universe. Shadow then learns that it was his duty to bring him the emeralds. With the promise of answers to his past, Shadow excitedly gathered the emeralds for him, using any means necessary. Revelations then manifest before Shadow. Shadow is indeed the Shadow the Hedgehog, and Black Doom assisted in his creation by offering his blood to Gerald Robotnik in exchange for the emeralds. Shadow's choices are then laid in front of him: save the planet, serve Black Doom, conquer the Earth, or destroy the world he holds in contempt. After encouraging words from Gerald Robotnik, Shadow chooses to destroy Black Doom using the Eclipse Cannon. However, in the end, he puts his past and the memory of Maria behind him. Shadow's story and life are indeed tragic. Every moment is laced with some form of pain. His ruthlessness knows no fear, and fear beckons at all those who know him. The one true friend he had was taken from him, building the renegade we know now that will do anything to get what he wants. Though he is the ultimate life form, Shadow's mind and psyche is far from ultimate. His great power and abilities cannot stop him from being haunted from his past, and it is unknown if the hallucinations have ceased. Perhaps the only solace he has is in knowing he has a kindred spirit in which he strives to best: Sonic the Hedgehog. Tragedies may feel temporary, but memories keep them eternal. The next story will be told.